We don't usually talk about YouTube drama on this podcast, and that's not by mistake. I usually don't think that it's relevant to a podcast which specializes in talking about video games, movies, and TV news. That's always been what I wanted our podcast to be about. So if there's something happening as far as drama goes that has nothing to do with any of those topics, we normally skip it. I think maybe once or twice we've even talked about something that could be considered YouTube drama on here. But I don't think it's been beyond the scope of what kind of topics we normally discuss. This, I would say, is outside of the scope of what we normally talk about. And I wanted to talk about this because it does directly affect us, and it affects this channel, Level 1 Sword, that we've been running for nearly 2 years now. I think we're going to reach year 2 in May.
Was it May?
May or April, something like that.
I thought it was like June.
We're definitely past a year and a half. Okay, 1.5 years we've been doing this. And when I started this, I did sign us up for the YouTube Partner Program. We have made a little bit of money. We have gotten a little bit from it, very, very small amount. But it's, hey, every little bit counts. And I have been, grateful for the views that we've gotten. I've been thankful for every single subscriber. Anytime that we get a new subscriber and I see it on the channel, and we go weeks without getting any new subscriptions. And then all of a sudden we'll get like 2 in a day, and I'll be like, "Oh my goodness, that's incredible." And I'll be super happy. And then I'll be pretty, a little bit down if I see us lose a single subscriber. So the subscribe count is something that I check, almost every day that I'm doing work on our channel. So I do want to say I'm happy for all the subscriptions that we do currently have. Now, the big thing that has happened with YouTube, they have upped the requirements for monetization that will allow you to be a YouTube partner and actually get paid for your views on here. The new guidelines, or the new requirements that a lot of people are upset about, what you will now have to do is you will have to have 4,000 accrued hours of watch time in the last 12 months. So you have to maintain a viewership of, and no, that doesn't mean I have to have 4,000 hours worth of content in 12 months. No, that means that's how much of your content has to be watched in the last year. So that's not, I feel like that's not an unreasonable or hard goal to reach. Maybe because I think we reached that easily. We only have, I want to say, around 166 or 167 subscribers. This next part is what kind of kills it for us, because you also have to have 1,000 subscribers. Now, this affects, of course, small channels like us. We're going to lose our monetization process. Maybe we should sign up for a Patreon. Who knows? That's what everyone does these days, right? Even the big fellas that like have 6 figures on YouTube, they still do Patreon. Little known secret.
Whatever bit, anything counts.
Anything. Hey, every little bit helps. And that's kind of how I felt about this program. I mean, we didn't start this because we wanted to. We knew we weren't going to get rich. We knew we weren't even going to make a living off of this. We just started doing it as a hobby, something that we thought we would both enjoyed doing, and we have enjoyed doing it. But it is, having the ability to potentially earn money off of ad revenue certainly helps incentivize us to keep doing this. So, personally, yeah, I'm not happy that YouTube has decided to do this. YouTube has come out and said that, and this is of course after the backlash from a lot of smaller channels and smaller content creators have come out saying that they're probably not going to be able to support themselves anymore. And by the way, they did say like something like 99% of the channels that are affected by this like only earn like $3 to $4 a month. So yeah, people, you are right, and this is also an argument that other big YouTubers have made, which we'll get into later. But the point that they make is, if you're affected by this, if you're not to 1,000 subscribers with 4,000 hours watch time in the last year, then you're not making enough to make a living. I agree with that. We have not made enough to make a living.
No, my goodness. If I was just going to live off of that, I'd be dead a long time ago.
We'd be on the streets and we wouldn't be able to make videos. That's for sure. This, but here's their response to everyone else's response. Our recent changes to the YouTube Partner Program are designed to curb bad actors, stabilize creator revenue, and provide greater assurances to advertisers around where their ads are placed. By making these updates to the YouTube Partner Program, we aim to help creators of all sizes find more success. We have many free resources in place, such as our Creator Academy and YouTube Spaces, to help those just starting out build a community around their channel so that they can ramp up fast and monetize their videos. And I have seen those. That there are videos out there that you can watch to, I guess, give you tips to grow your channel. That's fine. Maybe you don't want to do it the way YouTube recommends you to do.
You probably shouldn't. They specified bad actors. That is...
What is a bad actor, Matt?
Oh, man, you know who they are. It's people who try way too hard. Like, the angry video game nerd copies, the JonTron copies, the vloggers.
Yeah, vloggers.
You know exactly what I mean. You might be subscribed to vloggers, or you might watch vloggers. I'll admit, some of them are enjoyable. Some of them put on personas that's like, you are clearly not like this when you are off camera. Like, there is...
Or your life is... There's no way your life is this interesting day in, day out.
No, that is a forced upon thing. And that couldn't... It could be... not speaking. It could or could not be, you're not a bad actor.
Yeah. There's plenty of fake content out there on YouTube.
Okay.
And you're never going to your YouTube. You're never going to eliminate it. It is in your small channels. It is in your big channels. It's everywhere. And simply weeding out some of the small channels here, like, I see all the time fail video compilations, cat video compilations. Yes, those are still a thing. They get thousands and thousands of views. Just different viral video compilations that, yeah, people they rip each other. They rip from other YouTube channels, from more popular YouTube channels. They recycle stuff. Yes, this is done by everyone, and do I wish that those channels didn't exist? Yes, because I don't like watching a compilation and watching the same video that I've already seen 5 times as part of that compilation.
Those people are also making easy money.
Yes, just by doing simple video editing work.
And a lot of them, they don't even ask the creators if they can use that footage. That's something that like needs to be more specified. You do need to ask people to use their footage for things, and that's something that a lot of creators have come out and like complained about, and no one's done anything about it.
But those types of channels,
they're fine.
They have no problem meeting these requirements for monetization.
Exactly.
None whatsoever.
And they don't have any original content to their name.
All you're really doing, YouTube, is you're making it harder for us, obviously, but you're also making it harder for anyone who may want to start up a channel, and now you have moved the goalpost. Okay, so one thing that I honestly didn't expect, but I've watched two big YouTubers talk about this. One maybe not so big, but definitely not medium size anyway. I'm sorry. I consider you're kind of a big YouTuber if you can do this and make a comfortable living off of it. You're a big YouTuber at that point. So I watched Boogie2988's video on this, and his take on it was I feel very balanced and very clear. He didn't think it was a good idea overall. He did go into the whole advertisers thing and how that's always been a problem. That's always been a concern of advertisers on YouTube. They're very worried about where their videos are being placed. Apparently not very much so for a Logan Paul video, but you know, there it is. Them's the breaks. That's what happens. Because his video is not getting demonetized or anything like that for showing a dead body in Japan. But we don't talk about that. That was last month. That was December 31st. Come on, man. Move on. So I watched Boogie2988's video, and I think he had a balanced approach. And then I also watched Review Tech USA's video, who completely thinks that this is an okay idea. This is the same, by the way, his name is Rich. This is the same person, by the way, who ranted about any time that an adpocalypse would happen, and basically how, like, oh man, I've got to start Patreon now, and he would complain about how YouTube's policies are messed up, and he didn't understand, and all this stuff that he would rail about. And on his video, he basically said the reason why he was for this was because when he was trying to do YouTube, like I think he said he started doing YouTube back in like 2009, and it took him like years to get to the point where he could be a partner, because it did used to be very hard to be a YouTube partner. Then in 2013 they basically opened it for anyone to do it. Apparently they did in 2013. When they did that, he had just reached the requirements to become a partner. So I kind of feel like he's just sore that bad timing on his part. And by the way, he's doing fine now. He's got like, you know, almost 1 million subs, and I think I haven't looked at his sub count, but and I want to say also PewDiePie had a few words about it. He said that he didn't make a single dollar off of YouTube until he reached 25,000 subs. It's hard to get subs now. If you're a new channel, you are one of thousands of channels that are competing with each other for subscriptions. Sorry, people only have enough time in the day to subscribe and watch your content. And my thing is I stay subscribed to people unless they do something that I really have a problem with, or if they don't upload a single thing for a whole year. I'll stay sub to you, and I will watch your content. Unless you like release a video that like I'm just like, this is low quality. I don't want to watch you. I don't want to watch video footage of you playing a game that you like streamed. If I want to watch you streaming a game, I'll sign into Twitch and do that. But it's just, to me, the arguments that I have heard for this don't make sense. Like, I haven't heard an argument for this that actually I can say, yeah, that's completely consistent with YouTube's decisions and policies that they've done. But I've gone on for this for a little bit too long. What are your thoughts on these changes?
Well, I'm sad that I won't be making that money anymore. Thanks, YouTube. That was my lunch money every year. No, I mean, like you said, it's hard to get subscribers unless, I don't know. There are some channels that I've seen where like I'll find them from some obscure like reference to a channel that like one kind of bigger channel that was like, oh, this person brought up a good point, and it's like, by the way, you should go subscribe to them, they're pretty good. And like you look at them originally and it's like, oh, they're at 4,000, and then you look at them like another day and it's like, wow, you have like 40,000 subscribers now. That was big. Like, basically, unless you can get a shout out from someone who's bigger than you,
right,
it's very, very slim chance you're gonna, hit that boom.
Right, because
you might be making some content that's like is actually decent. There's no way anyone's gonna hear about you unless you're talked about by a bigger YouTube channel.
Right.
Even if that channel isn't like a little bit bigger, like if a channel with like maybe 2,000 subs found one of our videos and was like, this, they bring up a decent point about this thing, we'd probably see like a spike.
Yeah.
It wouldn't, probably wouldn't be enough to get us back on there. It might, I don't know. But it would definitely be a lot more than like, oh, we just got a new subscriber. When was the last time we got a subscriber? 2 months ago? Yes.
Yeah. Because how YouTube works is the more subscribers and the more view time you have, the more YouTube will recommend your stuff. The more you will come up in someone's feed.
I'd say it makes sense a little bit, just because you kind of want to throw out there channels that are kind of getting viewed,
right?
Because those channels will make you more money. It's like you see the same kind of videos on the trending section every week. Something from Vivo, something from like Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, basically anyone who's a late night talk show host,
right? Occasionally Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, some musician that isn't on Vivo does something weird that week.
Occasionally a viral video will pop up there.
Yeah, something that's...
Yeah, trending... I don't believe trending is done by an algorithm.
No, trending is whoever pays for it or whoever makes YouTube the most money, because they want to keep making more money, which, as the business standpoint, makes sense. If you can make money easily, why shouldn't you be able to make money easily?
And I meant to say this at the beginning of this segment, by the way, or at the beginning of this topic. YouTube is a business, and they can do whatever they want to do with their policies. I completely understand that. I respect that. And I don't think YouTube should not have the right to change this, policy. Right. Their business, they can do whatever they like. I don't have to like it. I don't have to think it's a good idea.
No,
that's the difference.
Yeah, we can voice our opinions about it, and you can have an opinion on something that's negative about something, but you can see it as like, this should be positive. They should have the power to do this because they should. Don't have to be happy about it.
Right.
It's like the government.
They have the freedom to make dumb choices.
Yeah, the government does stupid stuff all the time. We don't have to be happy about it.
We just try to vote them out of office.
Right. We try to do our best. Usually to no avail.
All those old people that keep voting him back in. But, yeah, this... it really frustrates me to see that there's very few big YouTubers that are just like, oh, this is a good idea, and then they turn around and they give me a personal story. They give me what's the term when you use a personal story to prove an argument? It begins with an A. I can't think of it right now. I almost want to say annotated or something like that. It's basically you saying like, I don't trust doctors because I got sick once from something a doctor gave me. That does not mean that, all doctors are bad. Like, if you're trying to use that as something to say, like, you can't trust any doctors, no one should trust any doctors. That's what I'm probably going to think about it sometime later tonight. But there's a term for that, and that's all I've heard from these YouTubers that think it's okay. They just say their own personal experience, and they're like, that's why it's good. Why? Because of you? It does reveal that they may be a bit more egotistical than you might have thought.
I think a lot more people are becoming more egotistical. This is a very self-absorbed
community.
Not just community, but like period of time.
Oh, sure.
Like, people are more about themselves than they've ever been in history because they can project themselves and they can...
And no one thinks that they're wrong.
No. Because if you have enough people following you, you're clearly right about all things.
Right. Which means that anything PewDiePie does is 100% unquestionable.
Well, he is our leader.
Yes. I forgot we have to report to him. Anyway.
Hail Sweden.
There's so many examples, PewDiePie, Logan Paul that you can point to. I believe earlier we were talking about how when the Vegas shooting happened, that smaller channels had strikes against them because they were talking about current events which were violent in nature, or they weren't allowed to show images, whereas that's exactly what Jimmy Kimmel did, showing up in trending.
Yeah.
He
wasn't doing anything about it. He simply talked about it. And then people who were trying to, help those people or the city or whatever, trying to do something positive and actually do something, were being taken down. And then this guy had like a 3-minute segment about it and was like, better put that at number 2.
YouTube's practices are full of double standards. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. But that is a change I would say needs to take place. Making it harder for... And they haven't made it impossible. I'll admit it. 1,000 subscribers. If we really wanted to try and get 1,000 subscribers, we probably could. I don't want to put the time into it.
I'd like to. I just don't have the time.
And I know that that there are only, as an adult, you come to realize there's only so much time to do so many things. When they tell you that you're a kid, that you could be anything you want to be, yeah, but you got to pick and choose. You can't do.
Got to put the time to learn how to be that thing. You can't just be like, I want to be a scientist, and then you go to school to be a scientist. It's like, okay, wait, no, I want to be a...
Right.
I want to be a politician. It's like, oh, I've watched the news. I'm a politician.
Right. You cannot be an astronaut, musician, physicist, dentist, politician, actor, garbage man. You just can't. You can't do it all. There's only so much time in the day. And, YouTube as a hobby, the thing with advertisers, let me touch on that again. That a lot of people say, advertisers are really nervous about YouTuber or YouTube because a YouTuber can get on who's been monetized and say whatever they want. This doesn't stop that. You can behave, you can do what it takes to get 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours, and then say whatever you want. And an advertiser will stick their thing on here, stick their ad on your channel. What I don't understand is who cares? I don't think that there's anyone who watches, or if there are people out there, they're a very small minority that actually, if they see a video that they disagree with and they remember what the advertiser was before they clicked, before the video started, that they would actually go after that advertiser and be like, I can't believe you support this nonsense. Everyone should understand by this point, YouTube has been around for over a decade now. Everyone should understand that you are watching the advertisement first because you are watching a video for free. You're not paying for it. If you have a problem with ads, sign up for YouTube Red. That is an option.
If you want to spend $12.99 a month,
but you can do it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like, look, you're not paying. The ads aren't there because they directly support that YouTuber. The bigger channels are like that. The biggest ones that have millions and millions and millions of subscribers, yes, those are set up like that. Everyone else just gets your basic advertising option. That just happens. Like, I don't understand why advertisers are so concerned with what videos their advertisements go in front of it. Yeah, you can make an argument they should have more control over it, sure. But this is not the way to do that. This doesn't really help. And as for, those channels that just make compilations and they steal people's content, that's also not going to change here. Because you'll still get people subscribing to them for stolen content.
Right.
So all YouTube is really doing is irritating channels like our size and newer. You may see much more or much fewer channels actually start up now, because less incentive to do so. You're going to have to really work to get to the point where you can actually make money. And it's unfortunate, but that's our take. We're not going anywhere, at least not for now. And we'll keep doing this podcast.